So, hello everybody, and thank you, Jenny Drescher from the Boulder Company, for giving me your time today to talk about your results from doing this work. Um, and so, Jenny, what was your pain situation before you started working with me?
Well, I had on again, off again felt lower back pain and headaches, both of which were pretty severe and really distracting and took a lot of my energy. So when I first came to you, which was about a year ago, for my back pain, what I thought I had done was pulled a muscle in my lower back, and I thought that I was dealing with muscle pain. I pulled the psoas muscle, that muscle that wraps from the front of the body to the back of the body, and I'll go for Bowen and massage, and Jackie will do that. It'll be great. And then when I walked into your office, what you said after a couple of minutes of conversation was, this is really not about your back. So what's really going on? And so it stopped me in my tracks because I had been in severe pain. That particular time I had been in severe pain for about 6 weeks. Yeah. And I was not feeling at all good. I was not able to function. It was really distracting. I run my own company. We work in talent development. So for me to not be able to be fully present with clients when I'm trying to teach and facilitate and coach, pain takes me out of presence with them. And so it was really causing me a lot of problems.
Yeah. So it was preventing you from doing your work and being fully present.
Yeah, it was. It was. And my headaches were actually having the same effect because I've had a history of chronic headaches. And when they hit, they derail me entirely. They take me out of my company. They take me out of presence with other people. They get in the way of my ability to do my work fully. Both of those things, the headache and the lower back pain.
Yeah, they can definitely be painful. How did those situations make you feel emotionally?
The lower back was really, it frustrated me. It really made me angry because I felt like I was fit. I mean, I walk and hike regularly. I do yoga. So to have the lower back pain be something that was so assertive and disruptive in what I was trying to achieve, well, it pissed me off. it really made me angry. I said, this is not okay. It made me mad. Yeah. And then the headaches, the headaches I've had on again, off again for years, and they just take me down when I've had them. And so they're incredibly, I don't use this word lightly, but they are disempowering when they strike because they're very sudden, they're very intense, and they make me feel really powerless. I can think of occasions in my life when I've had those headaches when I literally, particularly if they were coming on a lot with frequency, which they did at one time previous to our work, I literally would just want to cry because it made it so hard for me, not just to concentrate and to focus, but it would hurt my appetite. It would make me nauseated. And these aren't even migraine headaches. These are not, I know that's normal for migraines, but these are not migraines. They're in a different part of the brain. They come from the neck and head. So they really made me feel tired and unable to function when they would strike. So that's a really powerless feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. They would bring on my poor me sometimes. Like,
oh my God, yes.
Take care of
yeah, so much for me. I can't function. Yeah, and all the excuses and all the blame and like all that sort of what I came to realize was a lot of inner victim sort of mentality that was at work that I couldn't really see. That was how they affected me.
Yeah, painful. So I'm guessing you were a little skeptical in the beginning of doing this kind of work. What were some of the reasons you were thinking this would not work?
Well,
yeah.
So why was I skeptical? I'm not skeptical now because I've gotten such great results, but I am perpetually sort of an analytical person. I like to understand, I like I like logic. I like things that make sense. The part of me that is a sharp business person sort of always is looking at things from that pragmatic standpoint. And I have often been a doubter when it comes to the mind-body connection, because there are aspects of that defy logic, that make us say, oh, well, that's a nice idea, but easy to dismiss because it's not necessarily something that our rational self understands. And so I always had an explanation for why I had pain going on. It was related to, the fact that in my lower back, when that happened last year, I had picked up a chair and twisted my body wrong when I picked up the chair. And it's not that I didn't do that, but what I didn't recognize, what I was unable to recognize, that what the skeptical part of me couldn't really recognize, that that the way those moments come together is something that the body's trying to tell me to pay attention to. So that was part of where I was skeptical, is just because I'm always doubting anything that strikes me as like, oh, that's very woo-woo, which is what I've said before to plenty of other people. Oh, yeah, that woo-woo stuff. But what I've learned over time has been that the mind-body connection is actually not nearly as woo-woo as I thought it was. There are mountains of neurological research that backs that up, that back up that mind-body connection, and that's been a game changer for me in terms of my understanding of the nature of the work that you do. And then the other thing that turned the corner for me on my own skepticism was seeing incredibly rapid results. So, case in point, when I walked in and I had this lower back pain, and you said, yep, nope, this is not your lower back. Like, this is not a physical thing. What's really going on with you? I started to talk about what was really going on, and you walked me through some EFT tapping, and I had some anger going on in my life that I wasn't really dealing with. I had some sense of not having support in key areas of my life, and it really was showing up in my back, and I was completely in denial about it. But when we started walking through that process, and you gave me a 7-day challenge, and we recorded it on my phone, and you said, okay, I know that you're not 100% bought into this, but here's what you're going to do. And I said, all right. And the reason I was able to just say, all right, was because I realized that what I had been doing wasn't working for me, right? I'd done muscle relaxers. I was doing more yoga. I'd gone to the chiropractor. I had, And I said, okay, well, I've tried all this other stuff and it hasn't helped. So what the heck? Why not? I'll try this. I'll try this crazy thing. Why not? And you said, yep, just do it, Drescher. Just don't argue, just do it. Just give yourself a 7-day challenge. And you're going to listen to this recording and you're going to tap on it every single day. And the pain went away in 4 days. Which just cracks me up. So it was a real breakthrough in terms of my willingness to look at the fact that we don't always have to know and understand from an analytical, logical model how something works, but it's useful and powerful to be open to it. And that was a turning point for me. Brilliant.
Yeah. And so why did you decide to go for it and do this?
Because I had already tried a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Right. I was already going to yoga on a regular basis. I'd been to the chiropractor a couple of times. I was doing all kinds of stretching and strengthening, and nothing was making it better. So it just sort of put me in this position of saying, well, why are any of these things any more useful or not useful than this other thing, this modality that I don't really understand? And that was me at the time saying it. I understand it better now, but at the time saying, well, what the heck? I don't know why it couldn't work, so I'll give it a whirl. Yeah. Might as well. So it was a little bit of that, and it was a little bit of also, you also talked with me a little bit about the neurological side of this, about how the tapping works and why it's effective. So you spoke into the listening in my head that needed some scientific understanding to be kind of willing to take that next step.
Good. Well, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad I spoke whatever words needed to come out of my mouth to get you in the place to do it, because we don't see energy, right? We don't understand it. So
Right.
it's hard to see the connection.
Yeah.
My husband's an engineer. He works with a utilities company. I mean, yeah, there's a wire up there, but I don't understand how energy moves through it. I don't understand how I turn a switch on and the light is on.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in our bodies. And we don't know all the ways that every people around us are affecting us on a daily basis. What's triggering us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are times we just have to say, okay, I'm going to try this new weird thing, and just the results can sometimes be amazing, right?
Yeah, well, and it's funny to hear you say that, because I hadn't thought about it that way quite so much, but I think looking back on it, that was definitely a part of what started me on the road and then has kept me on the road, is just being more open to the fact that there's always going to be so much that we don't understand. There's so much we don't understand about the universe and about energy and about, I mean, we can have all the science in the world and still not understand the science.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's more useful to be open. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned from working with you, and one of the biggest things that has helped me in the face of the pain. And then that's why the back pain's gone. I mean, it has not come back.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? Amazing. So besides the pain not coming back, what other kinds of things did you notice showed up around the change and around your life? How has it changed for you?
So the one thing that was happening because of the frequency of my headaches was they were really distracting me, and they were taking a lot of my emotional and mental bandwidth. They were taking up a lot of my time, energy, focus. They were pulling me away from a lot of things. So when the headaches would hit, they would just take me down, just 100% take me down. Like, that's it, I'm done. I can't do anything for the rest of the day. It would make me grumpy and angry and nauseated and tired and like just really unable to do anything else but walk through the difficulty of I'm in so much pain I can't see straight. And that was costing me a lot, like both literally in terms of money because of not being able to work some of the time, but it was also just costing me a lot in terms of time that I might spend doing things that are good for me, or taking care of clients, or just doing life, right? Just doing life, like they would take away my energy. So if I wanted to go out and go to a networking event for my business growth, if I had one of those headaches, forget it. I would not step foot in a networking event because I wouldn't want to show up as that person with a horrible headache. Right. So it really the pain really kept me small, and shifting away from the pain has helped me to just have so much more ease and confidence in the way that I function in the world, the way that I walk in the world. And one of the perks also of getting rid of the headaches and working with you over the last several months is I have a lot more awareness about what my body's telling me when something does come up. So I actually pay attention to it, and I experience it very differently now. So instead of just having I just had this happen last week. I had a really, really bad headache, and I went, oh, what's happening here? What do I need to be paying attention to? And there was a time before that I just would have, sort of crumbled and crumpled into, oh, here's the headache again. Just total at the mercy of it. And now when I get that, I say, okay, something here I need to be paying attention to, something I need to be Like, what am I struggling about? What am I in like some kind of mental, what am I in an internal battle about? Or what am I resisting? Is there a change afoot that I need to be acknowledging that I'm resisting? And as a result of that, when I experience that kind of moment, I stop, I check in, I tap through it. I use some of the other tools in my toolkit, and I move through that more quickly. So I regain a lot of the focus and energy that I used to lose. And all of that focus and energy goes towards me living my life really fully now and doing what I want to do instead of being stuck in a bad case of the poor me's.
Yes. Yes. It's not fun being there. I want to spend less time there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's boring. There's no fun there at all. And it doesn't make me money. It doesn't make me connect with other people. It doesn't get me outside enjoying air. It doesn't help me with friends. Like, it doesn't serve any purpose.
Right.
You know, the only purpose that it was serving was, yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to stop you from living your life. Oh.
Yes. Love it. So some of the tools I use, like EFT, which some people may or may not know, it's emotional freedom technique, and I use a lot of energy work. And I'm not physically touching you. So why do you think these tools do work?
That's a good question. I think one of the things that has worked for me about EFT has been that piece about stopping and checking in more rapidly in the moment. And it's kind of funny too, because I do a lot of work with emotional intelligence at our company, at the Boulder company. And so we have a whole set of tools related to stress management, emotional management, and checking in and noticing, oh, something's happening. I need to take, I am feeling it today. I'm feeling the heat. I need to do something about that, right? Like, so our model is that you feel the heat and then you take that pause. You notice, okay, what's happening? You know, you get a glass of water, or you breathe for a few minutes or whatever it may be, and then you pause and you say, okay, what is upsetting me here? What is actual? What's creating this stress? And then the next part of it is choose, what choice can I make that's going to put me on a different path than what I'm at. And what I like about using EFT inside our existing model as a boost for it is that it really allows me to make the physical connection from what I'm feeling and what my thought pattern is that's underneath it, right? It's like it puts me into the physicality of whatever emotion I'm experiencing. So, like, case in point, yesterday evening I was driving home and I was noticing, oh man, why am I irritable? This is weird. I shouldn't be irritable. Today was really productive. Why am I feeling irritable? And so instead of, like, my normal reflex might be to do a little too much analyzing because I go into my head a lot, which I know is probably something a lot of your viewers do. So don't go in your head. It's not a useful place.
Don't go into spinning mode.
Instead,
get out of your head.
Yeah, like it goes in, yeah, it's this whole spinny thing, get out of your head. So what I really like about adding the EFT component is that now I still want to sort of do some addressing of, you know, what's going on so that I can address the issue. But I like the idea that I address the emotional side first, like the physical, emotional side. So I literally was, as I was sitting in traffic on Route 4, I'm sitting there tapping out like, yep, really annoyed, really irritated, feeling really mysteriously frustrated, and I'm frustrated about being frustrated, and I don't really understand where this is coming from, and it's just annoying me. Why am I so irritated? I literally had no idea what was going on for me because irritability is like that. It can just creep up on you out of nowhere. But I just tapped out what I was feeling. I just verbalized it while I was tapping. And by the end of about maybe 2 to 3 minutes sitting in traffic doing that, I could already start to feel everything calming down. And then that cleared the space for me to be able to pause, do some deep breathing, and then look from a rational place about, like, okay, what might have triggered that? What might have made me feel really irritable? And then from there, I noticed, oh, well, here's the thing that annoyed me. and I was looked at it, but I looked at it from a much more charge neutral place. So it didn't result in the shame trigger, which I think was part of what was happening.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So
Perfect.
that's like my robust example of, that's my most robust recent example of how I've used EFT to climb myself down off the ledge.
Yeah. And it gets us down to the root cause of what's really irritating us, because everybody's so busy, we just go, 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 and then we forget that, oh, our body is giving us signals, and I'm ignoring them, and I'm suppressing my emotions. So, but I'm going to keep going until my body says,
right.
Not. No, you're not.
Power through. Yeah, because that's so effective.
Yeah.
Not.
Not. Great. So why do you think the work that I do is working to help people get out of pain? A little bit we just answered that, but is there anything else you want to say about that?
I think one of the other things that I would note about that is that when I did the ancestral healing for you, this tells you how much like off the ledge of it must be analytical and logical and make sense, right? So when I shifted out of that constantly skeptical mode and said, well, you know what, I'll why not? And so I started down the road of why not. What I discovered on that road was more comfort with not understanding how a thing works. And that opened up more for me in terms of what I was willing to try on in my own journey from getting to point A to point B to point C, right? What I'm trying to achieve in my life, the goals I'm trying to achieve, what matters to me, keeping my body fit and able and having the energy and not having the pain. So one piece of that you and I did a bunch of months ago was this ancestral healing thing. And I never in a million years would have thought, oh yeah, ancestral healing has anything to do with what goes on in my body. I never in a million years would have connected those dots at all because there's nothing logical there. But what I found was, as I continued my work with you, when we did so I got in on the road with EFT, and then you said, okay, let's do this ancestral healing. We did the ancestral healing, and I felt physically very different after that because I had moved so much energy and I didn't even know I was carrying it. I had no idea that I was carrying it. So I just felt more, since that occurred, which was now, that's going back to, I think, April, and it's now going into November. I have physically felt very, very different. I don't feel bogged down in my energy like I did in a way that I didn't even know that I felt, if that makes any sense. Like I was unaware of how much it was actually affecting me. So I think that's a worthwhile thing for a person to consider if somebody's considering trying on this crazy stuff that you do, so to speak, right? And they're like me and they're skeptical. It's worth it to put your foot on the road, because once you open up to understanding that we're not ever going to understand anything in its thoroughness because of the limitations of the human mind, starting on that road is really powerful because it can reveal blind spots. I look at the ancestral side of what we did and some of the energy related matters, the energy work related to that is that ancestral healing. And it opened up just a lot more of my own personal power, a lot more of my own sense of what I'm truly capable of, separate from, I think, what I was carrying was pushing me in directions that never felt right for me. And that changed because of the ancestral and energetic component of the healing.
Yeah, I've seen you step much more into your power. It looks like things are a little easier for you in life and business and health.
Yep.
Which is a wonderful thing to invite more of. And that, since that skeptical part of ourselves, yes, it's trying to keep us safe, but boy, it can keep us stuck in so many areas. And just trying
Yeah.
would open all that up. So.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I'm much more at ease in my body since then.
Thank you. Thank you for all of this. And as any last words to anybody who might be thinking about trying it and might still be a little skeptical after all this conversation?
I think I would say to any skeptic, I would say be willing, because what's on the other side of your skepticism or your need to analyze and understand it, what's on the other side of it is a level of freedom and ease that is literally life-changing. Because during this has been one of the most dramatic years of change of my life because of the work that we've done. It has opened up so much for me. I almost don't recognize myself, but in a good way. And so I would say that's what I would say to anybody kind of saying, oh, what do I do? Go it, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Nike, just do it.
That's it.
Well, thank you, Jenny, for this. This has been great to talk with you and to get more understanding of how your life is and what your future looks like going forward. So thank you.
Thank you.